Hi, my name is Mary and this is Mary's Stitching Corner, and this is my channel about cross stitch. This is my Flosstube number 14 and it is September the 13th, 2022. So welcome. It's been a while. It's been about 2 months since I last did a video. Life got in the way and I can tell you all about that later on. But today I had the house to myself. I wasn't really planning on doing a floss tube today, but I had some time alone and I thought I might as well just try and get this filmed. I've been wanting to do one for a while and I'm kind of in a mess, so I'm very unorganized because I didn't plan it in advance, so I apologize for any scatteredness that's going on, but it's good to be back. I missed filming and yeah, it's been a hard few months. So let's get started on the stitching and we can then talk about life later on. So I feel all out of sorts and like I haven't done this before, but bear with me. So during all this stuff that was happening, there was about 3 weeks when I couldn't stitch, which was hard for me because stitching kind of is my therapy. So that was very difficult. And I'm turning bright red because I'm having a hot flash, so I'm going to grab my fan. Those of you that have watched me before, you know that this happens periodically. Actually happens every hour, all day long, but anyway. Where was I? Yeah, I couldn't stitch for about 3 weeks because I just wasn't feeling good. And so then when I started stitching again, I decided to pull out some of my smaller projects and worked on those throughout August. So that meant I ended up with a few finishes. Nothing was fully finished, but I have a few finishes to show you. So let's start with that. So the first one that I'll show you is by Primrose Cottage Stitches and it's called All American. And this was stitched on 18 count, very light pewter. And I love it. I love the way it turned out. It's always good to get some finishes. That's why I like to always have some smalls going. It just makes me feel better about making progress. And this one is, and I may have shown you this before, but I can't remember. This one is by Waxing Moon Designs, and it is it Patriotic Barn Trio, I think, and this is Justice. This was stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha. I didn't bring anything to put behind the patterns, but we'll see if this works. This is another one I may have shown you before. This is one that I thought I had finished and then I can't really remember what happened. Did I run out of thread? I think I did. I made a mistake, had to unpick, and then I ran out of thread. So this is Little House Needleworks Forest Snowfall. And it's 18 count light pewter Ada. And I've been using the called for threads on all of these. This is Garden of Dreams by Barbara Anna. 18 count taupe by Fabric Flair. This is my first Barbara Anna and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And there's a lot more stitching involved in these than you would think. The next one is Flag Flock by Plum Street Samplers. This is one my daughter picked. It was one that I wouldn't normally have chosen, but I really like it. And this is stitched on 20 count vintage country mocha 1/1 using the called for floss. I can turn my fan off now. And the last finish is also by Plum Street Samplers, and it's called Liberty Lodge. And this is 20 count vintage country mocha 1/1 using the called for floss. So those are my finishes. And that took me through August. When I reached September, I decided I wanted to work on fall. And I think I only had one fall work in progress, so that meant a bunch of new starts. So I can show you those. This is the one I already had going. I started this last year. And I'm sorry I don't have a cover picture because I'm very unorganized. So this is Autumn Town by, oh my goodness, I've forgotten. It'll come to me. Autumn Lane Stitchery, right? Anyway, this is Autumn Town. So I've been working on this. This is my whip goal for September. So I've been working on it at least 30 minutes a day. And I'm going to continue to do that through the month. I love this. I love the colors in this. See. And then these are a couple of new starts that I've started just this month. So this one is Autumn Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And this is what I have done so far. So this is using the call for DMC, and I think it's 28 count Belfast linen, just the stuff that you get from Joann's or Michael's. So I love how that's coming along. And another new start is Gathering Acorns by Cottage Garden Samplings. Told you I was unorganized. So this is what I have done on that. Everything's falling. So this is 18 count Ada in linen, and it's a very rough fabric. I tried it on another couple of projects and didn't like it, but so far it's working well for this one. And let's see. So I think those are my new starts for fall. I don't think I'm missing any. But I have a couple more planned, which I'll show you later for when we start talking about plans. But another thing I'm doing this month is Sampler September. So for that, I pulled out Black Vintage Sampler by Owl Forest Embroidery. And this was my birthday start this year, so I started this in May. So I finished the first page right here the other day and started page 2. I already messed up as usual, so I missed, somehow I'm off by a row, so I had to cut a row of stitching off the house, but I think it looks fine. So this is another one I'm doing at least 30 minutes a day throughout September. This is 18 count. It's 18 count Ada. It's just cream or ivory, something like that. Just something I picked up at Michael's or Joann's. So those are the whips that I'm working on right now. My rotation for all my other things there just isn't a rotation right now. So I think once I'm through fall and Halloween and Christmas, then maybe I'll start in January bringing in some of those older whips and start working on them again. So these are some other whips that I've worked on over the last couple of months since I filmed a video. But I haven't actually touched them probably in at least a month. So this one is Quaker Christmas 2, Songs of the Season. Trying to find the picture. Okay, so I can't find the picture. I apologize. But if you've watched me before, you know that you've seen this before. So I managed another page finish on this. So I finished page 2. So I started on page 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2. So this was the one I finished last month. I love it. I'm using, the threads I'm using are DMC 895 and 815. This one I'll pull out again in December when I start working on Christmas. So I'm halfway through. I've got 4 pages to go. This was another new start, but it's not fall related. I've been working on the Little House Needleworks Sampler of the Month, and I always want to have one going so that I can gradually work through them all. So this is April sampler. Sorry, I keep putting things down, then they get lost. So this is April. And these are quite a quick stitch. So hopefully by next year, I'll get most of them done. And this fabric is just a mystery fabric I've had lying around for years. It looks like an even weave, 28 count probably. I love how colorful these are. I also like that each chart uses the same floss, so you don't have to keep buying a whole bunch of new floss for each month. Okay, so another one, this was my whip go for July. And I did quite a bit of work on this one. I'll take it out the Q-snaps so that you can see it properly. This was one that's hard to put down once I start stitching on it. So this is Barbara Anna Designs, All Creatures Great and Small. So when I said before the one that I showed you was my first Barbara Anna design, it technically wasn't. It was the first Barbara Anna Dreaming Girl that I stitched. So this one I saw stitched up in my LNS and I just fell in love with it. So I've been enjoying it a lot. And this is what I have done so far. So this is page 3 and 4, I think. Or 2, never mind, I don't know. Anyway, I started in the middle at the top and then I'm working my way down. So this is 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. I'm using the called for anchor threads, and this is 1/1. So I'm just loving that. Pulling it out again makes me want to stitch on it again. Another one I did a little bit of work on is Farmer's Market by Lavender and Lace. This is one that I was working on a Saturday for a while, but as I said, I've gotten out of my routine, but this is a really enjoyable stitch as well. So this is a 16 count Ada. I think it's, I can't remember the color. It's by Witchoat. I feel guilty now pulling out all these whips that I haven't touched in a while. Okay, and then this is my last whip. This was a whip go for July, I think. So this is Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. And this is how far I've gotten. So this is being stitched on 18 count opalescent white Aida, and I love the way it looks on here. This is another one I want to grab and start stitching again. Okay, so those are my whips that I've been working on. As you know, I have many whips that are just sitting in the back room not being touched right now. So I did write some notes, so if I can find them in this mess. There we go. All right. So plans going forward, I decided to do fall in September, Halloween in October, and go back to fall in November, and then Christmas in December. That's the plan at the moment, so we'll see. So I've kitted up the projects that I'm going to do in September and in October. So the next one I'm going to start for fall is Acorn Hill by Little House Needleworks. And I've chosen a 20 count Aida in the color Sunflower. For that one. And this is by Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy. And I'll be using the code for colors, which I think will be really nice on here. Yellow's my favorite color, and I saw this fabric and fell in love with it, but I didn't really know what I was going to stitch on it, but I think this will work really well. The floss is they're all classic color works. So that I should be starting today or tomorrow. And the last fall one that I will be starting is Cinnamon Stars. And I know most of you have seen this, by Plum Street Samplers. And I will be doing that on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I'm using the DMC conversion for this one. So I will start that. I'm trying to do, I start a new one and give it 2 days, and then I start a new one and give that 2 days. So this is what, Tuesday? So probably on Thursday I'll start this one. And then I'll keep that 2-day rotation going throughout the month of September and hopefully make some good progress. So that's my fall stitching plans. Now we can talk about the Halloween. I have another finish that I missed that I didn't show you. I just finished this the other day. This is Mill Hill Buttons and Beads, Valentine Heart. I absolutely love how this turned out. I messed it up. So the border, I got off on the border somewhere, but I don't think you can tell unless you look super close. But I love this. So now I want to order another Mill Hill kit, maybe something for Halloween or Christmas. So So now we'll go on to Halloween. Patriotic and Halloween are my two favorite things to stitch. So I'm really, really excited about this. Okay, so the first one is Witchy Dreams by Barbara Anna. I'm going to use the called for DMC floss, and I'll be stitching her on this, which is Hazy Grey Dyed Effect by Fabric Flare. And another Barbara Anna is Trick or Treat, using the called for DMC and the called for fabric, which is 32 count Murano even weave in Basalt Splash from Zweigart. I can't wait to start those. Another one that I'll be starting is Lady Halloween by Jardin Privé. And as you know, if you've watched me before, I love Jardin Privé. I'm going to stitch her on this, and I can't remember what it's called. It's 18 counts. It's by Fabric Flare. I don't know if it's lavender. It might be lavender. So, and then I'm just using the called for threads, which are black and gray mostly, and I'll probably add in some accents with purple or green or something like that. This one is the Prairie Schooler All Hallows Eve. There's only two colors in this. It's DMC 921 and DMC 898. And then I think there's a very dark brown, which I haven't pulled yet. But yeah, this isn't black. There's no black in it. And I'm going to stitch this on this. I think that might be quite fun. This is Fabric Flare, 18 count. I do not know what the name is, I'm sorry. And the last one I'll be starting for Halloween. It's the Addams Family by Plum Street Samplers. I saw this stitched up in my LNS too, and it was so cute. I'm using the called for floss, which is a mixture of Classic Colorworks and DMC and Weeks Dye Works. And I've cut a piece of Belfast linen for this, 28 count, but I may switch it out. I think I may do the 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. So that's my Halloween plans. We'll start those in October. Let's see. So I got some haul. And some of these I just printed off So this is not a color picture, but this is Barbara Anna Butterfly Dreams. And my daughter's Chinese, so this is an Asian girl, and I thought that might be fun. And then another Barbara Anna. You do one and you're hooked. And this is Floral Dreams. And this one reminds me of my daughter who's from India. I know this isn't an Indian girl, but it reminds me of her. So I'll start those at some point. And another Barbara Anna is Winged Dreams. And then I got Hive Rolls by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And A, B, C by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So that's my haul. I also bought the big DMC 310 cone from Joann's because I'm always running out of black. So that was really good. My daughter had given me a gift certificate for my birthday and I had a coupon, so I ended up getting it for a really good price. All right, I got some Happy Mail. My friend Patty, she and I do a lot of stitch alongs together. And she sent me this chart that she wasn't going to stitch. It's by the Drawn Thread called Welcome Autumn. So I think that's just gorgeous. I'm looking forward to stitching that. And she also sent me this gorgeous pin cushion. It's called Dolls and Their Girls, is the company that made it. You can see that there. I thought this was just gorgeous. So thank you, Patty. All right. So that's pretty much all my stitchy stuff, I think, unless I noticed something that I have overlooked. As I said, my plans going forward are fall in September, Halloween, October, Christmas in January, and then I'll get back into my older whips again. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers on the channel, so that's very exciting. I'm going to do a giveaway once we reach 1,000, and I think I'm getting really close to my 1-year anniversary, so I may do a couple of giveaways. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and let's get that number up. And what I'll probably do is do a couple of gift certificates, because I've had some issues with some countries that I've tried to mail to that they've just made it so complicated. So I think it would be easier just to do a gift certificate or two. So anyway, please like and subscribe and do all that stuff, and we can do that maybe by the next video. Who knows? So this is my life update. So as a lot of you know, my daughter Katrina has been quite ill over the last few years with a condition called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It causes weird things to happen with your heart rate and blood pressure, causes blood pooling in your limbs, causes fatigue, dizziness, balance problems, all kinds of stuff. So she's been dealing with that. But overall, she's managed quite well. And then a couple of months ago, she started just not doing well at all. So She had no energy. She couldn't get out of bed some days. She was missing tons of work, and she went to the doctor, and it turns out that in addition to POTS, she also has ME, which is chronic fatigue syndrome. This was absolutely devastating to her. She's 25 years old and was already using a cane and a walker because of the POTS, and this just exasperates the condition. And now she has a, sorry, she has a handicap sticker for her car, and she's still struggling. We're starting to see she'll have a good morning or a good afternoon, so we're starting to see a little bit of light at the tunnel, but it's really really hard to watch your kids go through something like that when they should be at the age where they're out having fun and not laying at home on the couch. So that was very hard for her, and very hard for the rest of the family to watch her go through that. And we had some stuff happen with my daughter. Nothing bad. She's at my other daughter, my youngest, just stuff that was very stressful. And so the worry, the stress, the anxiety caused me to get sick. I ended up with gastritis, was quite ill for a few weeks, couldn't eat. It was very hard, especially because I was sick and then I couldn't look after Katrina, and so it was a rough few months. It was during that time when I couldn't stitch very much, not just because of my physical state, but because of my emotional state. I've always been a worrier and I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety over the last few years. And then the anxiety makes I have some chronic illnesses, and it makes all of them worse. So in addition to the gastritis, my atrial fibrillation got worse. My vestibular stuff that causes the dizziness got worse. And so, yeah, between Katrina and I, we were just in a state for a couple of months, but we're starting to come through. And Katrina is now working part-time, and she starts a new position within the company in October 3rd, where she'll be able to work from home. I'm having another hot flash. I apologize. Need to find my fan. Anyway, do any of you ladies of a certain age, have you had hot flashes that have lasted a long time? Like, this is 10 years this has been going on. Anyway, so Katrina starts a new job in October where she'll work from home, and hopefully she'll be able to get back to working full-time. She needs the health insurance, of course, and we're hoping that being at home where she's not on her feet all day long, she'll be able to, her body will be able to calm down, and she'll get back, not to normal. She won't get back to what we would consider normal, but back to where she can function more. Sarah is doing well, loves her job. There's lots of responsibility and stress, but she absolutely loves it. We don't see her a whole lot, but she's doing well overall. Let's see. Being British, the news in the last week of the Queen passing away has been very emotional. you know, I grew up with the Queen always being there, and was actually surprised how emotional I was over everything. But when you're British and you grow up there, the royal family is just such a part of the culture. So that's been emotional, and actually surprising how emotional it's been. So I've been watching a lot of footage and a lot of TV stuff about her. So it's very sad, but you know, she was a wonderful queen, and 96, she lived a long life. I got to talk to both my brothers last week, which I hadn't talked to either one of them for a few months, and one of them had a birthday, so I talked to him. And then my other youngest brother called me on Saturday, and he told me that he's going to be coming over in January for 3 weeks. Now, he had booked 3 trips to come here over the last 2 years, but because of COVID, all of them were cancelled. So fingers crossed that he gets to come this time. I haven't seen him for 13 years. So we're hoping that works out, and that will be really, really good to have him here. January's not the best month to come, but he was made redundant at his job. Or he's being made redundant on December 30th. That will be his last day. And he's going to take a couple of months off before he starts looking for another job. And he just thought this would be a perfect time to come, because once he starts a new job, he won't be able to take time off for a while. So fingers crossed that that happens. Other than that, I've just been stitching. I've been trying to just calm my system down, because it's just an overdrive right now, and been listening to audiobooks. I've done that for years, but I've just been doing a lot more of it. I've turned the news off. I've turned stuff off that stresses me out, and just been trying to do more lighthearted things. And so I love it when either I find a TV series on Netflix, for instance, that has been running for a while, and all of the seasons are available to watch, and so you can binge watch. Like my daughter and I did that with Supernatural this last year. There was like 15 seasons, and we were able to sit and watch. And so when I find a good book series that's already been released, then I really enjoy that too, because then I can just listen to one after the other. So I found a series, the Trad Street series by Karen White, which I really enjoyed. They're kind of ghost stories, but they're not really scary, and they're kind of lighthearted as well. So I enjoyed that. I think there's 7 books in the series. And right now I'm listening to, let's see, the Enchanted Ink series by Shanna Swenson. It's really lighthearted, kind of about a magical world being, I don't know how to describe it. So there's just magic going on in the world that most people don't know about. So it's kind of about that community. So it's very lighthearted and fun. And then, as I do every year, I listen to the Harry Potter series. And so yeah, I've been doing that. Just trying to cut out as much stress as I can. And the remodel of the house is moving along. We actually got floor put down this last weekend. My stepson came up and helped my husband put the flooring down in the kitchen, dining room, and family room. So because Katrina hasn't been able to work full time, she was renting our basement apartment. and we knew she couldn't afford it anymore, so we needed to move her upstairs. But then Sarah came to me and said, I really want to rent the apartment. I'm ready to be more independent. And so basically that's what's going to happen. We're just going to switch them around at the end of September. So we have to have that area on the main floor available to be used. We haven't had a kitchen up there in a year, so we've been using the kitchen down here in the basement. But once Sarah moves down, we won't have access to this, whereas Katrina's been more, she's been happy for us to be able to come down and use the kitchen and use it for storage and stuff. And she lets me hang out down here so I can get away from the chaos. But Sarah wants to be completely independent, so we have to have the kitchen done. We have to have a living area. So the floors went down and the baseboards are going to go down this week. And then I think he'll be able to put the appliances in. So we should be able to live in that area within the next few weeks. So, and it looks really, really nice. I need to figure out how to add pictures to this so that I can show you some of what's going on. So my mother-in-law's here this week. She has dementia, so it's always a bit of a challenge. She gets panicky and forgets, you know, when she's out of her routine, she has a hard time. She came on Sunday night, and after dinner she went to throw her Dr. Pepper down the non-existent sink in the kitchen. So we had Dr. Pepper all over the inside of the cabinet and on the floor, but you know, you have to just roll with it. And she lives with my husband's brother, and they do a wonderful job looking after her, because when she comes to stay, we can actually see how hard it is on a daily basis to have to deal with that. And she remembers people. She just forgets things, you know. She forgets how to do some things and just needs a lot of care. So that's it. That's my update. That's my stitching update. That's my life update. I hope this wasn't too scattered and crazy, and I hope that I can get back to filming a little bit more regularly. And remember, please subscribe if you haven't. Let's get to the point where we can do some giveaways. And I appreciate, excuse me, my voice is, I'm not used to talking this much. I'd like to say thank you to my regular viewers that keep coming back and have shown me so much support. Excuse me. And anyone that's new, thank you for stopping by. And I hope you'll subscribe and come back. And I think that's just about everything. So please take care of yourselves. I hope everything's well with you. And we will see you next time. Take care.